Runner at third, 2 down. Lee lines one up the middle. It's picked on a bounce by Bogarts. His throw to first is in time. And the Padres come from behind and beat the Giants. And for the second straight night, the Giants do not score, even with their automatic runner in extra innings. Padres both times, as the visiting team, need just the one. And that loss hurts.
All right, before we get going here, FP Santanzo with the bunker tonight. Giants lose 3-2. Another tough loss in 10 innings to the Padres. 808 KNBR is the number. We'll take all your calls. It's my first show in a long time in the bunker. Before we get going, I have some special guests here in the bunker with me. I don't normally do this. It's usually just me solo in the bunker. But I'm going to start with a good story, a feel-good story, because I know a lot of Giants fans are probably a little bit pissed off tonight. So 808 KNBR is the number. You know my drill. You can vent. I like to listen. We'll talk you off the ledge tonight. Times are tough recently, but there's a long way to go. Giants at 33-28. The Padres go to 35-24. I was driving in San Francisco in the Richmond district the other day. It was Sunday afternoon, and my buddy and I were going to have dinner somewhere, and we saw a family playing wiffle ball on the street. And it was a father and son playing wiffle ball, so we pulled over the car, and we started playing wiffle ball with them. And we stayed for about 30 minutes. We were stopping traffic. We were making sure it was safe. Little kids running around. He has a son, Rio, who's 7 years old. They're in the bunker with me. Jesse is the father, Jesse Hooper. It's going to be a rock star after the show tonight. You're all driving home. His wife, Justine, is here, and his daughter, Luna. Rio's 7, Luna's 4.5. So we played wiffle ball with them in the street. We just stopped. It was like a Willie Mays stickball moment. Not that I'm Willie Mays by any means, but it's just a wholesome thing that brings people together, and it's baseball. So while we get real serious about the Giants not hitting right now and losing some really tough games, sometimes you have to take a deep breath and take a step back and do the little things in life. So they're guests of mine at the game tonight, and they're sitting here in the bunker with me, and we're just chilling. We would have liked to win for you guys tonight, but that's the way baseball goes. That's life. You don't always win every single game. It was a tough one. We thought we were going to come in here and win, and woohoo, and the Giants are back 2-0. Things didn't go the Giants' way tonight. So thanks for coming, guys. It's good to have you here. It's nice to have friends, new friends, in the bunker with me doing the show. So you guys made my day. It was fun to see you guys. It's great to get to know you guys. I'm glad you came to the game tonight. And you're bad luck, so you can't come to any more games. That's it. You guys are one and done. If we'd have won tonight, maybe you get some more tickets, but that's it. You guys are done. I'm just kidding, Rio. Don't get upset over there. So 808 KNBR is the number. Lighten it up a little bit. I know you Giants fans are frustrated right now. I just went over in the Giants clubhouse and got 2 baseballs for these guys here, and they're taking this hard. And I know we are too as Giants fans. And it was real quiet in there, and I just ran in and ran out. So here's my take on it for whatever it's worth. I've been in these situations. And when you're not hitting as a ball club, you start to press. And then everything is magnified. When you're not scoring runs, every little thing is so important. Every little pitch, every ground ball, every play that's made. Willie Adames' play in the 9th where he backhanded and Casey Schmidt couldn't pick it, and that's not his fault because he doesn't play over there. Matt Chapman's play in the 8th inning in the double playoff, Gavin Sheets might have been the best play I've seen Matt make in a long, long time. Going back to New York when he saved the game against the Mets last year, that in-between hop, he made it look easy. And if you've ever played any infield at any level, that was one of the tougher plays I've ever seen. So Landon Rue pitched great tonight. The pitching's there. It's just not all clicking. And when you go through a 162-game schedule, you're going to go through phases like this. It's tough right now to watch. It's hard to watch. I know Giants fans are upset. I know family members and friends that are Giants fans are upset. But the one thing I will say about tonight, and I missed the game last night. I wasn't here. The ballpark was electric. So Giants fans, I know you haven't given up on this team. We got a long ways to go. The spirit is there. The spirit is there for the team, the fan base. But it's really, I guess, it's harder. What's harder to watch? A team lose 10-9 and your pitching staff is really, really struggling, or the not hitting? And I would say the not hitting. Just because when we come to the ballpark as fans, we want to see offense. We want to see runs score. We want to cheer home runs. When Elliott went deep tonight, that was fun. And offense is cool. We all love offense, and we love an offensive game. But when that's not happening, all of a sudden guys start to get tight, and hitting's contagious. And I know it's a cliche, but it's true. If the guy in front of me is hitting and I'm hitting, the guy behind me is hitting, I don't expand my strike zone. I take my walks. I let the guy behind me do it. It's kind of a rhythm that you get into as a ball club where if I don't get it done, the guy behind me is going to get it done. And if he doesn't get it done, the guy behind him is going to get it done. And that's how this whole thing kind of evolves. And then on the other side of it, what we're all seeing right now with this team is maybe we're trying way too hard. And if I'm going to chase this pitch, because if I don't do it here, we haven't been scoring. The guy behind me is not going to do it. And if he doesn't get it done, the guy behind him is going to press. And that's how it goes the other way. And that's what you're seeing right now. And if you're a pitcher, you got little wiggle room, so you're trying to make the perfect pitch all the time. To everybody's credit, Logan Webb, Landon Roop, most of the bullpen lately, they have ignored that. They're going up there and they're trying to put goose eggs on the board. Like JP Martinez says, if we shut them out, we're not going to lose, and they've done their job. So what you're getting right now is a team that cares, number one, but maybe I don't think there's such a thing as caring too much, but there's such a thing as trying too hard. Joe Madden, the former manager of the Cubs and the Angels, used to say, try easy. He had shirts that said, try easy. That is so much easier said than done. When you got 30,000 people, the lights are bright, you're on TV, it's your career, it's your at-bat, pride kicks in, and you want to get the job done, and you don't, I'm going to take all these calls, and I know they're going to be frustrated tonight, and I know you guys are going to be frustrated tonight, but nobody's more frustrated than that clubhouse I just went in. And I know you don't want to hear it because they're making millions of dollars and everybody always goes to that and they should be producing and I don't want to hear it and it's excuses. It's not. They're human beings and they want to win baseball games. And I'm not going to sit here and go gloom and doom. I would be more worried about this if it's happening in September. If there's hitting like this down the stretch when you're trying to get into the playoffs and you're trying to play meaningful games in September to compete to get into the playoffs, win your division, wild card, whatever it is, and you get into this funk right now, that's not turning around. You've seen teams go south in September. When you start struggling like this in September, there's no flipping a U-turn. There's no flipping a switch. The momentum you have is the momentum you have for the rest of the season. So a positive spin on this, and I think it's a realistic spin, is I'd rather this happen to the Giants right now in June than in September. And you're probably in your cars driving home from the game right now going, well, there isn't going to be an October if they keep playing like this. And that's true. And nobody knows it more than those guys. So 808 KNBR is the number. Kyle is at the new home base in Daly City, and we were worried if the bunker worked tonight. I think, Kyle, right? Is this the first show from the bunker since we've been in the new studio? I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So it all works. It works. We're good. So I got a lot of callers. Let's go to the calls right now. Mark in San Jose, you're going to lead us off. Mark, you're on the Sports Leader. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, man, appreciate you taking the call. As you said it, this hitting is atrocious that we don't have a hitting game. I don't know what's going on. But what I'm really calling about is Duvall. Now, I know that me and a lot of my friends on the east side of San Jose are in the minority. But I want to know, when do we actually go out and get a closer? For me and a lot of my friends, when we look at Duvall going into the game, we're like, oh, God, are we going to win or not? Duvall, yes, had an anomaly year, and an anomaly year can be a good year, his all-star year. Prior to that, he wasn't all of that, and it seems like he's reverting back to that. Remember last year when he had the coming out and the big screens and all the gadgets and fireworks and all that? Well, now he doesn't have it. Why? Because of his performance. Every time he goes in, I get nervous. I want to know, when does this team actually go out and get a closer? That's my God, boss man.
All right, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. Everybody wanted Camilo Duvall to be the closer. I mean, that's what I've been hearing, right? He was dealing. I'll tell you this. The last 3 outs of the game are a lot harder to get than the 7th or 8th inning. When you're out there and the whole game is on you, that's what separates the good from the great. To have that responsibility and to embrace that responsibility to get the last 3 outs and shake hands on the mound and get a win. So a lot easier in the other innings, and he didn't get it done tonight. And the walks killed him. You just, when you have a 2-run lead, it goes back to what I'm saying. When you're not hitting, everything is magnified. When you're not hitting, every walk is magnified. Every error is magnified. Every base running mistake is magnified. We didn't get the runner in with less than 2 outs from third is magnified. When it's 8-4 and you don't get the guy in from third with less than 1 out, or the runner on third less than 2 outs, nobody says a word about it. You're kind of like, oh, that would have been great. But when you're not scoring and you don't do those things, it gets frustrating. So I understand what you're saying about Camilo. And maybe you're onto something, but I also think in that bullpen, there's a lot of guys that could close. There's some guys with closer stuff down there, and Randy Rodriguez is the first one that comes to mind. But I just don't think if you keep tinkering and putting guys here and putting guys there, then everybody's lost and nobody knows what they do. When you talk to bullpen guys, and I would have no idea, I never did it, they love to know their role. They love to know, I have the 6th inning, I have the 7th inning, I have the 8th inning, I have the 9th inning. This whole new high leverage in the 7th, and you bring your closer in the 7th, and then somebody else in the 9th, and nobody knows when the phone's going to ring, so nobody has a routine down there, and then the phone rings, and everybody looks, is it me, is it you? If you get into a rhythm and you're all doing your job, and this bullpen has not been the problem for the Giants. They've been one of the best, if not the best bullpen in all of baseball. But if you get into that, well, we're going to try this guy this day, this guy that day, guys are down there and the phone rings. And they're like, wait, me? You? Who's going? And then they don't know which end is up. And it's just like if you go to the ballpark and you're a position player and you don't know where you're playing. Oh, wait, I'm shortstop today? Wait, I played third yesterday. And so you want to get that rhythm down there, and I understand what you're saying. Let's go to, let me see, I got to get to my phone. My combination to my phone is 7724 if you ever want to get into my phone. Will in Sonoma is on the Sports Leader. 7724 is the combo to my phone if you want to get into it. Will in Sonoma, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Taking away the bad taste in my mouth, FP.
What leaves a bad taste in your mouth? You're in Sonoma. There's a lot of wine up there. Is that leaving a bad taste in your mouth?
It has nothing to do with the wine. It has to do with the way the Giants are playing, the bad taste. You brought out the children, and that shows the warmth and compassion. You need to see that and hear that, because I sure felt lousy after that game.
What are you talking about? Will, I got a really bad connection with you. You said something about compassion?
Yes, I appreciate your compassion by bringing the kids in there with you on the bunker and taking your whole mind off of the bad taste that the Giants left at the game tonight.
Yeah, that's a tough loss, dude. But both those, the last two have been real tough. Real tough.
They're trying their hardest, though. You know, they're trying their hardest. It's just not working out. What can they do?
It's not working out. But guess what? There's a lot of games left. What's 33 plus 28? That's 11. Carrier 1. That's 61 games. So there's like 101 games left. Is that good math? 101 games left. I mean, that could be a good thing. Could be a bad thing. I think they'll figure it out. I think the at-bats have been getting a little bit better. There's just nothing to show for it. And I've been in these situations, man. You know what happens, Will, in these situations? You have meetings. And in the meetings, we're like, let's relax. Let's think about up the middle, run around third, less than 2. Let's let the ball get deep. Let's realize that the pitcher's in trouble and it's not us up there. But when you're going through a spell like this, you as a hitter feel like you are the one in trouble. And it should be the opposite. And I remember having a meeting in spring training with the Yankees, and Joe Torre had us all in the clubhouse. And he said, the reason Jeter's good and this guy Bernie's good and the reason we drive in runs here is because we realize that it's the pitcher that's in trouble, not us. And I think a lot of times as hitters, we get really nervous in those situations, or maybe anxious is the right word, not nervous. You get anxious. You want to drive in that run. You want to hear the crowd cheer. You want to put your team up. You want to do something good, come back to the dugout and get high fives and have like a great atmosphere in the dugout. You want to win. You want to come in the clubhouse with the fogger and the strobe lights and the music and the DJ. You want to do all that. So what you end up doing is not realizing and taking that deep breath and stepping back. And I'm telling you, this is easy to say on a radio in the bunker across from the clubhouse right now. Very easy to say right now. But when you're in that batter's box and your team is struggling, your adrenaline starts to get going, man. And you want to be the guy to turn it around. You want to be the guy to get the hit. You want to be the guy to put your team up. And guess what happens? I mean, have you ever swung a golf club too hard? Where does the ball go? You don't know. You top it, you hook it, you hit it in the trees. It's the same thing right now. If you start to have successes in these situations, the confidence builds, the relaxation comes, and then you turn into an athlete. And when your brain is clouded and you're trying too hard and that little man in your head says, I'm going to see a pitch right here, and the guy gets in his windup and you're like, swing. That happens. Like you change your plan in the middle of it. So the way you turn this thing around, I don't know, because if I did, I'd be a coach. And if the coaches knew, they'd be billionaires, not whatever they make. This is just something that happens in baseball throughout the course of a season. And for fans, it's frustrating. It really is. So I empathize with fans right now. But also, from a player standpoint, been there, done that. It's the way I got out of it personally, I can't speak for anybody in that clubhouse, is I would try to do something little to help my team win. When I was really scuffling, say an 0 for 15, an 0 for 20, which was every week for me, I would think, okay, maybe go deep into account here. Take a walk, look for a ball in the dirt, steal a base, score a run, come back to the dugout to some high fives and not a lot of silence and crickets. Just do something to help your ball club win a game. It's not about me getting 3 hits and going 3 for 4 with a home run and a double. It's about maybe a 1 for 5 with a sacrifice fly, or just a good at-bat that shows a lot of pitches to the guy on deck and you wear the pitcher down, and now the guy on deck has a better plan because you went up there and you were patient. But when it becomes a cyclical thing, it becomes a thing. You have a meeting, and then the meeting gets in your head, and then your family's texting, and you're like, what's going on? You don't think these guys are hearing it from people they know? Like, what's going on with the hitting? What's going on with the hitting? What's going on with the hitting? And then it starts to become a thing, and that thing's hard to turn around. It's like a losing streak is hard to turn around. A winning streak is hard to beat because you have the momentum going the other way. And this is just how it goes. So while I'm not panicking, I think there's concern. There has to be concern about it's been a long time. What has it been, like 16 games or something, maybe even more? I should know this, by the way, if I'm doing a radio show, that they haven't scored more than 4 runs, and that's a long time. Where am I at, Kyle, on the calls? I forget. Was that Bennett in Oakland?
We're on Bennett right
Let's
now.
go to Bennett in Oakland.
How you doing?
How you doing,
Hi,
Bennett?
doing?
What's going on?
I'm going to call in to give some of my thoughts. Firstly, it's hard when you're losing games while the staff and bullpen are pitching like this, because you're thinking, how long can we stay pitching the way we're pitching?
You're wasting good pitching performances. I get it. I understand that sentiment, that concern. But it's all you can do as a pitcher is control what you can control. They don't hit anymore. They don't have a bat. They don't have a chance to get up there and hit ninth and do something. So they're kind of at the mercy of, I'm going to control what I can control, and I hope things turn around offensively.
I'm a fan who has pretty much always felt like they can do a better job managing than the managers, along with other fans who are slightly different. And at the current moment, the way that Melvin and Posey are handling this team, it feels like they're doing everything right. It feels like they're setting the right lineups, they have the right guys up, they're pitching the right guys, right bullpen decisions. And it kind of leaves you with, like, what is the solution to this? It doesn't feel like there's anyone we need to call up. It feels like we need to wait and see if these guys are going to hit, and that's literally all we can do. I actually think the at-bats tonight were nice. We struck out 4 times. Casey Schmidt, Tyler Fitzgerald each gave the ball a ride. Ramos gave the ball, Gerard gave the ball a ride. And unfortunately, we flew out all game long, and then when we needed a fly out, Ramos grounded out to third. That's fine. The at-bats are better. But it just feels like there's nothing that can be changed from a decision-making standpoint, and that's a little concerning to me.
You know what, Bennett? That's a refreshing call, because usually we're in a blame the coach society. And everybody wants to blame Pat Burrell. Everybody wants to blame Bob Melvin. Everybody wants to blame Buster Posey, Zach Manassi. Like, it ultimately comes down to the players. They're putting players in positions to succeed, and they're just not getting it done right now. And I'm going to say this confidently, that they will turn this around. They will get it done. It's just not happening right now. And once it happens, it's going to be a beautiful thing. There might be some laughers involved. I mean, we haven't seen that. But the edge that you have to play on, the mental energy you spend, the grind of everything, meaning so they're playing game 7 every night right now because they can't score runs and they're not hitting. So the mental toll from all this is something we never really think about in how intense this is. They would love to, like, here's back-to-back doubles, back-to-back homers. It's 7-2 Giants. And just have a little relaxation and joking on the bench and pranks and all that stuff. But when you're not hitting, you're grinding hard, and everything becomes big, and everything becomes like a playoff scenario or a Game 7 scenario. Dude, Bennett, good call, man. Thanks. I'm gonna take a quick break, Kyle. Let's take a break. 808 KNBR is a number. I can't even say it because I haven't done this show in a while. I see all the calls. I'm gonna get to your calls next on the Sports Leader.
Camilo Doval on top. Throws. There's a line drive in the left field. That's going to be a base hit. One runner's in. Here comes Tatis. Here comes the throw. It's too late. Now they got the runner hung up between first and second, and they're going to let him go. With the go-ahead run over at third base, Luis Arraez, the throw came into home, and the runner from first, Machado, was out in no man's land, and Bailey threw the ball to first, and Schmidt, very wary of where Arraez was going, never did make a throw to second base, and so the inning is not over. The Padres have tied it up.
FP Santangelo from the bunker. Giants lose 3-2. That play John was talking about right there. I don't know if I saw this right from the stands. I was in the family section 119 tonight with my friends that I mentioned to start the show. Leaper, the third base coach, I thought put his hands on Arraez at third base. He put his hand on his back. The third base coach can't touch a runner. It didn't end up meaning anything because Arraez didn't score, and it was 2-2 after that. But I thought from where I was sitting, I'm sure the guys on the bench would have seen it. They're a lot closer than section 119. I thought the third base coach for the Padres touched the runner. 808 KNBR is the number. Giants lose 3-2. They go to 33-28. The Padres 35-24. Let's get back to the phones. I want to hear what you guys think. You know I'm all about you guys getting it out in the open, so let's go back to the phone. Sam, you were at the game. You're on KNBR. What's going on, Sam?
Welcome back, FP. How you doing, my good brother? Good
I'm always doing good, man. You know that, Sam.
I really think that you, everybody that does the post-game shows, we all, the callers, are well entertained, and we really enjoy you, and because you bring it, man. The barometer is really high, and I feel that right now more than ever before. And I think I just spoke to a physician. He talked to me, and he said this team has been diagnosed with anemia. And unfortunately, it's a Bruce Lee punch to the throat because now I'm 0-2. Last night, look, Logan Webb threw an absolute gem, and tonight Landon threw a really good game. And if the bats can't wake up, the powers that be, SP, have to sit down at 24 Willie Mays Plaza and say, what is it going to take for us to get back to where we were in the month of April and early May?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I appreciate it. Is this Sam? Yeah, Sam. Thanks for the call. I'll say this. And look, I am just a dork on the radio, and I'm a dork on the radio that does a few games for the Giants. In my experiences, and I've experienced this twice, and I don't know if it's the case, and I don't think they would ever do it when the team is struggling, but I saw Bryce Harper called up at age 19 and energize a team. And he was not hitting that well in the minor leagues. But young 19-year-old Bryce Harper used to play like Pete Rose with his hair on fire, diving everywhere, playing hard. And he energized the 2012 Washington Nationals. And they got to the playoffs. And I don't know if it was because of Bryce Harper, but there's something about when a young kid gets called up that as a player, you live vicariously through him. It adds energy to a team. There's a lot of attention around a team when somebody like that gets called up. I was around the team in 2019 when a 19-year-old Juan Soto got called up. And the same thing happened with that kid. He energized the team. He wasn't a savior because the team was playing decent at the time. They weren't playing poorly, both teams. But the young nature and the attention and the energy and the enthusiasm that young eyes and young enthusiasm brought to the team energized the ball club. Now, I don't know. I know Bryce Eldridge got called up to AAA today, and I'm not going to start he should be in the big leagues. That's none of my business. I don't do that. Like I said, I'm a dork on the radio. I don't make decisions. Those guys get here at 7 in the morning and leave at 1 in the morning. It's just that's their call. But in my experiences, I've seen something like that pick a ball club up. Now, I don't think you would do it right now because there's no offense, and if a 22-year-old, 23-year-old kid comes trotting in as the savior, that's a lot of pressure to put on that kid. But if things start to go a little bit better and he's in AAA and he starts to show that he's better than that level, I don't think that's out of the question. And I could be wrong about this, but I remember in 2010, a catcher got called up to the Giants, and a pitcher named Madison Bumgarner got called up to the Giants, and they really energized that ball club. And maybe, I don't know if they were ready or not. They sure proved they were ready when they got here. So along all of these lines, I'm not saying that Bryce Eldridge should be called up, but if he does rake in AAA and he goes off at that level and shows he's better than that level, that's going to be a decision that I think is going to be an interesting one. Let's just leave it at that. Like I said, none of my business. Those guys do it for a living. I just talk on the radio. But in my experiences, I'm speaking from experience. I don't know this kid as well as they do. I haven't watched him play as much as they have. I don't know if he can field a ground ball at first base. I don't know if he can pick a ball in the dirt. I don't know. I haven't seen him. I watch the clips on Twitter like everybody else. I'm like, damn, he's a grown-ass man. He can hit the ball far. And I don't know if it's time, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, I think that decision could be interesting. I don't know, in a month or so. We'll see. 808 KNBR is the number. Let me go back to my phone. 7724 is my security code in case anybody wants to break into my phone. Let's go to, was that Daryl? Where am I at, Kyle? Please help me. Daryl was at the game. Daryl, you're on KNBR. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Daryl, turn down your radio.
I got my radio off.
Thanks, buddy. What do you got?
I was at the game tonight. Great atmosphere. The weather was great. I just have one question for you, but before I ask it, the coolest thing that happened was when I was walking out, going down that concourse where you're going back and forth, and if the Giants win, everybody says, "Let's go Giants." Well, the Padre fans, and there was a lot of them there tonight, they and the Giant fans together started chanting, "Dodgers suck." So anyway, I thought that was cool.
A unified moment against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I love it.
Yeah. My question is, what do you think was happening to Casey Smith's mind when he did not throw the ball in that situation? The ninth, I believe it was. And I'll get off the air.
Throw the ball where?
When they had Machado caught between first and second, and Casey Smith had the ball, they had him out by 20 feet. If he'd have thrown the ball, and the inning would have been over.
Well, the runs didn't score, right? So I know is that there was second. Machado was left on second, and Arise was left on third, right? So irrelevant. What maybe he didn't want to run down, and then the winning run to cross home plate, and it's 3-2 Padres. I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I have no idea. But it worked out as a 2-2 game going to the 10th, right?
Right.
So
anyway,
plays like that to me, yeah. I mean, maybe he didn't want to throw it in the crapper and then have a run score. I'm not sure.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Dale.
Enjoy your show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Let's go to Jim in Pleasanton. Jim, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey. Oh, what's going on? I was looking at this game tonight and wondering, here we are in the ninth inning. Duvall's kind of a sensitive guy. He has a problem going on. And how come nobody goes out to talk to him for a minute, slow things down, get his head back in place?
I think they did.
You know,
I think there was a huge meeting at the mound. Wasn't all four infielders and the pitching coach, JP Martinez?
Yeah, after it was all over.
Well, I'll say this, and I understand your sentiment, but this is big boy baseball, man. You got to figure it out yourself. This isn't Little League where you run out and say, "Come on, Jimmy, we got Capri Suns and orange wedges waiting for you in the dugout. Let's go. We ice cream after the game." This is the highest level, man. This is grown men with hairy faces that get paid millions of dollars to hit and to pitch. So I don't think you go out there. I mean, he's a proven closer. And what are you going to say? What would you have said if you went out there? What would your message have been?
I would have said to him, hey, just let's cool down for a minute. Everything's going to be okay. You know, just take a break from just put his head back together for a minute. Just that simple.
Yeah, sometimes as a middle infielder, I would jog out there and say something every once in a while. But here's the thing, and pitchers will tell you this, and I'm sure everybody's different. This doesn't hold true for all pitchers. When there's a meeting on the mound, it's kind of like, when has there ever been a mound meeting when things are going well? When there's a meeting on the mound, it kind of, to me, sometimes amplifies the situation that you really suck at the moment. Or else why would the coach come all the way out of the dugout to talk to you? I know a lot of pitchers that have told coaches to get the F off the mound and turn around right now. I've known pitchers that have told managers to get off my mound. So they'll tell you that it's kind of embarrassing when they come out there and you're making a huge deal of something. So to me, the key of a good pitching coach, and I think J.P. Martinez is a great pitching coach, is to know when to go out there and to know the personalities of everybody that has the ball on the mound. Is it a guy that if I go out there, it's going to benefit him? Or if it's a guy that I go out there, it's going to kind of make him embarrassed, show him up a little bit, and things are going to go south? Like, you're half counselor, half pitching coach, same with a hitting coach, and you got to know your personalities. So it would be dumb for me to come on the air when I don't know any of their personalities other than saying hi to him in the clubhouse and talking to him for a few minutes to say, well, he should have gone out there and talked to that guy. Well, maybe that guy doesn't want to talk to you. Maybe that guy gets worse when I go out to the mound. Maybe that guy gets better when I go out to the mound and I say, hey, pull your head out of your ass. Let's go. Let's go. It's time to drink some beer in the clubhouse. Figure it out. Maybe he's not that kind of guy. So it's different for every single pitcher on every single team at the highest level. And part of a pitching coach's job isn't your arm angle, your mechanics, what your repertoire is, making up a new pitch. It's juggling personalities and being able to know what to say and when to say it.
Yeah, good point. But one of the things I'd like to say about the team right now, you're kind of stuck in this call it, whatever you want to call it, cesspool for the last month. I was at the last game in May when they had an explosive on Sunday, it was Star Wars weekend, and they beat whoever they were playing 9-2. It was a great game. There was 40,000 people there. It was wonderful. And I think one of the problems right now is they're loose. There's no intensity, and sometimes it takes what you used to call hard love kind of thing. Get everybody together and say, hey guys, they're all stressing right now, I think. But sometimes you got to sharpen up everything.
Is this Jim?
Yeah.
Jim, you can't be loose and stressing at the same time. This isn't making sense. You're like, they're really loose right now. They need some tough love, but they're stressing. Like, which one is it?
They're stressing, but what they're doing is making a lot of mistakes. I mean, you look at Adames tonight, threw 4 balls in the dirt to first base. He double pumped 3 times on those throws, which delays the throws, and twice the runners were safe. I mean,
he does
not
aim
worth
low.
$180 million.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. He does put the ball back in his glove after he fields it, and sometimes that gets your rhythm off with your lower half, and sometimes when your lower half is off, the throw doesn't go exactly where you want it. I've noticed that, but I don't think the Giants signed him to be Brandon Crawford. I think the Giants signed him to hit some home runs and drive in some runs, and that just hasn't happened for him yet. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. I'll tell you this, and I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about this, but I have to relate things to my personal experiences. And when Jason Worth signed a huge contract in D.C., his first year was the worst year. He hit like 2-0s, look it up, like low 200s. And it was widely thought in baseball is one of the worst contracts ever signed. And he was bobbling balls in the outfield. He was striking out with runners in scoring position. He couldn't hit. He was getting booed at home. And he changed the culture of that team. Now, that team was a perennial losing ball club. They didn't have 3 trophies from Tiffany in the corner of 3rd and King. But that first year was more of him getting adjusted to the thing. And I think at the very end of that contract, the Nationals had won a lot, and they had gone to the playoffs a lot, and they had won division titles and wild cards. And he's widely thought of as somebody who changed the way they went about it. And so you can go to Juan Soto, you can go to all these guys that have big deals. In the first year, there's tons of pressure. And I know you're thinking, well, he's got this much money, and he's what could their pressure be? And I used to say that about Worth. He was grouchy and surly, and they were serving cheeseburgers in the clubhouse, and it's junk food, and if you want to win, it's got to be organic, and the travel sucks, and this plane sucks, and if you want to win, you got to do it like we did it in Philadelphia when we won a World Series. So this is a guy that had won championships before, and he came in, and he bitched and moaned and complained about everything, and they were like, why did we sign this guy? Turns out he was right about everything, and it turned around the way they went about it. So I wouldn't know. This is one thing I can't speak from experience. I don't know what kind of pressure that is, signing a big contract, being the new guy on the team. But that does take a minute. I do know as a new guy on a team that's, not anywhere near what Willy Adames is, that there is an adjustment period. And I would say, in all fairness to Giants fans questioning that adjustment period should be close to being over. Like when you start to get into the warm months of June and July, minus where we live, but around the country, and you start to get into knowing your teammates and knowing the pitchers and knowing what makes them click and knowing where you hit the lineup, and you start to feel more comfortable driving to the ballpark and going to your locker. If you've ever moved into a new house, you just don't move into that new house and go, oh, this is home. It takes a good year or so to go, oh, that's where this pitcher belongs, and that's where this couch belongs, and I can't wait to get home from a road trip, or I can't wait to get home from vacation. And you take that deep breath when you walk in, and it's like that area rug you bought looks sweet with the couch. You have the kitchen dialed in. You got your backyard landscaped. You got everything it finally feels like home. And I think the same thing goes, we forget that this isn't a video game and it's not fantasy football or fantasy baseball, that these guys are human beings, and that takes a minute. And I'm not making for excuses for Willie. Like, he's trying too hard. He wants to go 5 for 4 every single night. Understandable. Been there, done that. Not on the scale he's doing it right now. But if I had to talk to him, I would tell him that he's got a lot of hits coming. If you go to the back of the baseball card, water usually finds its level. And when guys have history and they're not on the downside of their career, which would be like what, mid to late 30s, he should figure this thing out. I'm not really worried about Willy Adames. I would love for him to be hitting so he could be, and by all accounts, he's the same guy every single day, which speaks to his integrity and his professionalism as a baseball player. He's still cheering guys on. He's not pouting in the corner. And I can't say the same for the example I used earlier. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Joe in Sacramento. Joe, you're on the Sports Leader. What's going on?
Hey, FP, pretty good. I was one of the earlier callers. I'm not blaming it on the managers or Posey or anybody. It's like I've been a Giants fan since '64, and they've got the most important component to be a successful team, and they're loaded at pitching. Even down in Sacramento, and I see they got good young pitchers down here even. So I'm thinking at All-Star break, I don't want to see them trade away any of that stuff. I think that the hitting is what it is. I mean, it'll come around, but the Giants are in a 2 to 3 year course of getting to be really good. I mean, I watch the Dodgers and the Padres, and they're loaded. I mean, there's no way around it. You can't win unless you have the horses. And like you were talking earlier about when teams are in the slump, and Torrey said, well, this is how Jeter does it. And the other guys, well, the Giants don't have a Jeter. They don't have any of those guys. The only good guy that I see that, well, the two outfielders, Ramos and Chung Ho, I give them a B plus and a B. But the rest of the team just is, maybe Chappie because he's such a great defensive player. But I just don't want to see them trade any of their pitching at All-Star break to get wild card. I think that they're going at the right path, and it's just growing pains. It's tough to swallow. I mean, I turned the game off, but I knew when it was 2-2 that we were going to lose. I could feel it. I played ball for a long time, and you can tell, but you can also tell that they're going in the right direction as far as getting the team to go upward. I think they're going to have to fight these problems, just the way they are, and be satisfied until something shakes loose.
Yeah, good call, Joe. Thanks. I appreciate it. My son and I talk about it all the time that and I know Giants fans don't want to hear this, but like, I feel like, and I could be way off, that this year's a foundational year for Buster and Zach, and to kind of lay the foundation for the future here. That if anything happens this year, great. You're playing to win a World Series. You're playing to have a parade on Market Street. You are, or else why do this? But it's a new regime, and it's a new way of thinking, and it's the right way. There's the new way, the old way, and the right way. This is the right way. So I have tons of confidence in the people in charge, and it just feels right around here. It feels normal around here. And if it doesn't happen this year, it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I can't tell you that. I'm not a genius. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think it's going to happen. And it could happen this year. Like I'm not giving up with 101 games left in the season. That's why I just don't freak out. I don't have that game to game mentality of highs and lows, roller coaster. Where they won today and they're the best team in the National League West, and they lose tomorrow and they suck. I can't do that. I've been around this game a long, long time. I think this is my 35th year in professional baseball or something like that. And I don't play the high highs and low lows game. It's not a good way to go about it for your mental health. And I'm not a well-rounded guy. I don't go to the opera. I don't read books with lots of words in it because there's lots of words and there's just, you keep turning pages and there's more words, and I don't like words. So I don't like art. I know baseball, a little bit about baseball. And the little bit I do know about baseball is you try to be even keel. And anybody knows me, I wasn't an even keel player. I wasn't. I was on the roller coaster as a player. I was breaking helmets and breaking bats in the tunnel and high highs, low lows, roller coaster all-stars. But as a broadcaster and a guy that's a little bit away from the game now and gets to live vicariously through these guys, I have more of a calm approach to how I take in my Giants baseball or whatever team that I'm rooting for. And it's always been the Giants since I've been about 10 years old. So I don't get on this roller coaster. I hope they win tomorrow night. I hope Kyle Harrison deals. I'll come to the game with the same optimism that I came to tonight's game. When they were up 2-0, it felt like 20-0. But you got to add on. When you score 2 runs, that whole dugout, if it felt like that to me, 2-0 felt like 10-0. And I'm sure everybody in the Giants dugout felt the same way. We got 2 runs. Our pitching staff is awesome. Roop is dealing. We're good. And you have to have that mentality that just a couple crooked number, like a 1 or a 2, and then next thing you know, it's 5-0, and you're feeling really good about what's going on. You can't let the other team think that they have a chance. And then Camilo Duvall with the walks, and it got weird. And yeah, I'm with you. I felt like that one was going to get. I'm going to take Kyle. I'm going to take Casey and Modesto, and then wind up the show. Is that cool? Let's go to Casey and Modesto. Casey, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, so the lineup that everybody's talking about that nobody has the answers for, this is the answer to the lineup. This is going to unlock everything, and then this is going to have Melvin sitting pretty. So you start off with this Fitzgerald, you move Adonis back to 2, you go to Ramos, then you go with Chapman, then you go with Flores, then Lee, Bailey, Yastrzemski, and Encarnacion or Smith. And then once you do that, because everybody sees different pitches in the lineup in different slots, and these guys are going to be slotted back into their original slots where they produce. If you look at where Flores was producing all those RBIs early on, it was because he was down in the lineup. Then he moved him up to 3, and there's a lot of pressure on him. Then Matt Williams descended him from 3rd, and it reminded me of David Wells when he hit that triple, and it was like, dude, he ain't going to unhitch the trailer.
Well, that's not the worst ideas I've ever heard. Casey, thanks. Yeah, I think it's shuffling chairs at this point. I think the bottom line is swing the effing bats. Like, just swing the effing bats. Like, keep it simple. Go up there, swing hard in case you hit it. Swing the effing bats. No matter where you're at in the lineup. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 8th, 10th, you're sitting on the bench. Swing the bat. That's it. Easy to say, but like, throw everything out the window. Don't even game plan against the pitcher. Like, don't even have a meeting. Just go swing the effing bats. Like, see the ball, hit the ball. Keep it simple. I remember Ken Lake. I'll never forget this name. We were in West Palm Beach playing for the Expos. And I had hit 200 my first half season in the minor leagues. And I was looking straight in the eye getting released. It was April of my first full season in A-ball. And I was 1 for my first 25. I'll never forget it. And he was struggling too. And we were both fringy guys, release players. I don't even say fringy. We were release players. We were 20th round. He was like 25th round. I signed for $1,000. He signed for probably less than that. And we were on a bus ride. And I forget to where it was. It was in the Florida State League. And he goes, you know what? I'm just going to see the ball and hit the ball today. And we were getting there early and hitting tees and talking about who was pitching tonight. And, this guy pitched at Clemson, and he throws 98, and he's got a nasty slider. I mean, those were the scouting reports back then in A-ball. I'm sure it's a little more in-depth now. But it was like, oh, you faced this guy in college? Yeah, I faced this guy in college. He's nasty. He does this, this, and this. And then finally we just threw it all out the window, and we said, see the ball, hit the ball. Just as simple as that. And, like, easy to say in the bunker by myself in a ballpark that's empty right now, but sometimes you have to simplify things. Sometimes you just have to see the ball, hit the ball. I remember the first time I faced Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown was pitching for the Marlins. I had no idea who Kevin Brown was. It was my rookie season. I got 3 hits off him one night, and David Segui came up to me in the clubhouse, and he said, you just got 3 hits off the nastiest guy in the National League. We didn't have scouting reports. I didn't know who he was. I just went up there and saw the ball and hit it. That was the beauty of my rookie season, which was my best year in the big leagues. I didn't know half the guys I was facing. I had no idea. I mean, unless it was Greg Maddux or Tom Glavine, I just went up there, saw the ball, hit it. We didn't have in-depth or scouting reports. I would pay attention on the bench to who hit in front of me and how they were pitching them. And by the time I got up there, I had my own personal game plan. But we never had all this data and all these meetings. We just kept it simple, man. Just see the ball, hit the ball. Look for a pitch in your zone and let it rip. Get your A swing off on the pitch you're looking for. All right, I'm going to wind it up. Kyle, you can play lights if you got it on. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the new studios in Daly City. I'm seeing the video. You guys look amazing. It doesn't look like you're in a fishbowl anymore on the YouTube and the Twitch. It looks incredible. I talked to Adam Copeland yesterday, and he said the new studios are cool. So I think I'm doing a show next week in the studios. Looking forward to it. Thanks for all the calls tonight. Giants lose 3-2. There will be a baseball game tomorrow on the corner of 3rd and King, and I cannot wait. And like I say, on the way out every single night, Kyle, great job tonight. Thank you very much. Swing hard in case you hit it on the Sports Leader.